welcome to a brand new episode of the internet's most hated Mafia-themed Geek podcast, Long Coat Mafia Podcast. It is I, once again, the show's main host and frontman, the Reverend Godfather. And two things. First things first, as to say, that is, as you can tell, I've got my energy back. I have my energy back. That's because the stomach bug I had last week is gone. I'm feeling much better. And second, you might have noticed that there was no vocals in our intro music. And you're right. If you're like, what the hell's going on? And to let you know, there's going to be no vocals in this week's closing outro music. And that's because this past Saturday, we got word, sadly, that the person that provided us his voice for our outros, our intros, the stuff that we use for promo clips to send to other shows, sadly passed away. So, in honor of his passing, in which the reason why I say him again, because you're going to hear it in our Skype call, we're kind of giving for this week only, a moment of silence in our intro and our outro to pay respects to this man and his memory. Because without his voice, we would have had nothing as an intro and an outro, just music. So, that being said, we're going to go straight into our Skype call, which is going to kind of sound a little funny, but still, it's our we're kind of trying to get back into our old shenanigans and humor and fun that we had in our older episodes. So please excuse kind of the funkiness of how the Skype call sounds, but I hope you enjoy it, and I'll see all of you on the other side of this Skype call and for additional information. So take care. I am out, and here is that Skype call. Welcome back, folks. Welcome back. As you can tell, I still have a lot of energy, y'all. That's because I am really feeling better right now. And I barely had a sip of my beer. That's right, I'm feeling enough to have a beer in my system. And with me right now, who is ready like Teddy down the street, Big Candy.
What's up, y'all?
That's right, he sounded like a coast-to-coast caller tonight, and we'll be talking about some of that type of shit possibly a little bit later, but first things first, how have you been, even though it's been about a week?
Well, you know, when I'm not making fake YouTube videos, I'm drop-kicking Arnold Schwarzenegger.
And that's going to be a topic later, too.
Oh, yeah.
And if you're able to drop kick Arnold Schwarzenegger, I want to see the actual video of you doing that shit. Literally, I want to see that video.
I don't know, but the one I did see, that was, like, I don't know whether to laugh or to just be super sad, or, like, I was, like, pretty amazed that somebody's just like, you know what, I'm going to drop kick Arnold Schwarzenegger. I want to die on that hill.
It was like, I thought it was just being in a crowd and somebody bumped me.
No.
No.
That was pretty funny, because that guy got some air.
And Arnold was like blocked.
Yeah. I'm not amused.
You wouldn't do that shit to Chuck Norris, would you? No.
Shit. No. Chuck Norris would have seen it coming and, like, killed his whole family or something.
Nah, I don't think he would have bothered. He would have gotten John Wick.
Yeah, right.
Just told John Wick, see that guy over there? Yeah. Him and his family killed your dog.
John Wick would just knock the Avengers out of the top spot in the theaters this weekend, my God.
Oh, yeah, I saw that article. We'll get into that in a little bit.
Yeah.
So to get a little bit of caught up, what do you think, what were your thoughts on last week in regards to Back to the Media's little event?
I liked it. I thought it was really well handled for the first time. They actually, like, had a brain about how to do it and not, overdo it. You know what I'm saying? Like, they didn't let everybody rush into place all at once. Like, they did 10 at a time, and everybody seemed to be happy with what they got. So, I mean, I thought it was fantastic. From our point of view, perspective, we got exactly what we wanted, so because we were first in line. But other than that, I thought it went off without a hitch. Luckily, it didn't rain. There was a lot of people down there, and they seemed to get what they wanted. So I don't know. I give it a strong 7.
I'd say it was a good strong 7 as well. Again, folks, I do apologize how quick last week's episode was. It's just that I was not at the top of my game last week, and I really needed to give all of you some sort of content, and it was the thing that we were at that day, and it was the easiest thing I can give to all of you as per content. Granted, it wasn't the best content out there, but it was something that I felt that at least I had to give to you guys and gals listening to the show and my thoughts on it.
Well, so had you felt better, like, because I wasn't under any kind of time constraints or anything. Had you felt better, we could have stuck around until they were, like, not so busy, and we could have got interviews with, like, the people inside, the owner, but, we could have done some man on the street stuff. But, man, you not top of your game. That's an understatement. You were not well at all. At all.
I think as soon as I got home from after you dropped me off, and I went out and got some food shopping, thanks to friend of the show, Lloyd, and his fiance, they got me back to the place, and as soon as I got everything in the fridge, I think maybe about an hour later, I just passed out for over 12, 13 hours, and I just needed sleep, and I don't think I had that much to eat the next day per food-wise, and after I got done with laundry, I slept, got back home, and recorded everything, posted up, and went right back to bed. So.
Yeah, you definitely had your game face on because you were not feeling well.
Hey, folks, it was one of those things I tried to power through everything that Saturday just to get everything done and what I wanted to do. Again, special thanks to Big Candy to get me there and back again. It was just one of those, days. I probably would have recorded something then and there as well, other than the usual person on the street content and interviews and anything. If I felt better, I would have done a hell of a lot more than I did that day.
Right.
It's just that when coming off that type of bug, I don't know if it was food poisoning or anything else. It was just, my stomach and, I don't know if it was dehydration I was also suffering from or what have you. I was literally having migraines. It was like, all right, here's a baseball bat to the stomach. Then we're going to give you this brick to the head too. It was like, oh man. So
yeah, it was pretty brutal because, like, I know for a fact if you would have been in good spirits, you would have been having a beer down there.
Oh, yeah, I probably would have had a beer, and it was just like I wasn't really... I would have been in much, much better spirits at Brewbaker's, and, better time all in all, even though I think most of whatever energy I had left, or I can muster, went into my little rant video for my personal Facebook channel.
Yeah.
And, which ironically is my second highest viewed video on my personal Facebook page. I think.
Hey man, I think you got like a little bit of a stir going,
I don't know, but like I said, the highest video that I have on my personal page is like 360, something like that. Anywhere from 320 to 360, and it's
it got shared quite a few times, didn't it?
It got shared. This video that I did last week got shared 5 times. I said the last video that got over 300 was the open letter to the library and the director that was there at the time. That was back in 2016.
Right.
And let's see if I could bring it up. Last time I checked, the current video that I did last week, excuse me, let's see here, that was done a couple of days ago. And a lot of things on my timeline that people have posted up that I shared. And let's see, I have to go back a week. I share so much stupid shit. One was, no, that was a cat. That was the guy, it went up about 11 views. Last time I checked, it was like 160. Now it's 171 and climbing.
Wow.
So, and the other, one that was like the third highest was a video I did, like a music video I did for somebody. That was like 126. So this beat it by 50 and it's trying to catch up with the library video.
Right. Damn.
But
that's good though. Get out the word.
and the thing is, like, just it's one of those things that you're feeling better when you get hungry. It's like, especially after a stomach bug, all of a sudden it's like, you're hungry now. You are hungry. Seek out food. You don't want the food that's in the house. You want the food that's you normally go get. So it's like,
right?
Yep. And I'm walking down to the Blue White Grill to get, my usual Saturday breakfast. And again, Saturday, people should be walking down a nice day. Today was a nice day, despite they're saying thunderstorms all day. And
yeah, right.
You'd expect a downtown area should be hawking and jiving, full of people. What's happening in Martinsburg? Nobody. For the exception of the few people, got $1, got a cigarette, you smoke, got a nickel, got a quarter, got 50 cents. Other than those type of people, nobody.
Right.
I guarantee you right now, folks, if I went back down to downtown Winchester, that place would be rocking with people.
Oh, I just drove through there. Yeah, there's like a shit ton of people out.
Yeah, there's always a shit ton of people in downtown Winchester.
Right. The bars are rocking right now. They got the bands playing because it's nice out. There's like a bunch of girls walking around since it's hot, So it's a happening spot right now.
Meanwhile, I'll stop it right there. I should be walking to Winchester as we speak. I should be there sometime next week.
Hey, folks, I tried to convince him to move here, but he won't do it. He's dedicated.
Here and hate this place.
I was gonna say he's dedicated to change that spot. So
yeah, I'm dedicated to be a thorn in Martinsburg's side, other than the people that are going around asking for cigarettes. Somebody up here's got to have an IQ. Might as well be fucking me.
Right.
That's right. This week's episode is going to have that E, and it's going to earn it.
He's going for his mayoral run.
I got to figure out how to get on the ballot, and I think all I need is like 50. After I am able to fill out that form, all I need is like 50 signatures from local residents.
There you go.
Something like that. I think.
Well, I know who you can ask.
25 to be on.
I know exactly 50. Who you can ask. You can go downtown.
Yeah, don't worry, events. I'm running for mayor. Sign my form.
All those guys that are like, got a quarter, got $1, got a cigarette, take a pocket full of change and a couple of cigarettes, and be like, give me a signature, I'll give you a cigarette.
Sign my shit, I'll give you a cigarette.
I give you a quarter, give you a nickel, give you $1.
How much you need? $1? You vote? No? Well, do you live here? Got a valid ID? I'll take off on Monday.
There you go.
Go to Emmanuel's house. There's a good 50 people that fucking show up from the area. I'm running for mayor. Sign my shit.
That'd be amazing. I just wonder how hot is the contention for mayor over in Martinsburg? Like, was the last time they held an election, was there more than one person that ran, or?
Yeah, the guy that owns Boyd's Steakhouse
Right.
He ran against the mayor and lost because everybody wants to vote for the good old boys.
Oh, okay. So, what's the current mayor? Is it a Republican or a Democrat?
I have no idea, but they just like see his name and click, I want that guy. He's been, no matter how much he's been screwing around Martinsburg and doing shit we don't want, we're going to keep him in office. Just like we will try to re-elect that sheriff that OD'd on heroin twice and I had to bring him back. We're going to try to re-vote for him for office again.
So you know what to do, right? You got to go out and get yourself a NASCAR jacket. You wear that on the campaign trail, constantly smoking, talking, like, just talk a bunch of trash, like, you know. Be like, well, when I take over this motherfucker, y'all gonna get all the things you want. New hubcaps on your trailers, more crack, and, you know, the next thing you know, boom, you're mayor. And you don't have to make good on any of that stuff. Then you can do what you want.
I'll just go by the truth campaign. I'll get you whatever you want and not do it. Just like our current mayor. You want to be pro-choice? I'm pro-choice. Guess what? It's not going to happen. Just like our current mayor doesn't do crap. You're pro-life? Guess what? So am I. Just like our current mayor. And I'm not going to do anything about it. Just like our current mayor. Guess what? You want your funds to be put someplace else that you don't want. Guess what? I'll do that because that's what your current mayor does. And guess what? I'll give slightly more shits than the current mayor.
All that and glory holes.
Yeah, all that and glory holes. And guess what? I will not have another job other than the mayor position because you know what? I am so poor, I'll live off the mayor income because that's what I'm freaking used to.
Hey, you know what you can do? They'll probably get a lot of votes. Hey, folks, titty bars are back.
Titty bars are back.
Yeah, because remember they outlawed, the current law is like they can't open up a titty bar unless it's in a place that used to be a titty bar. Right. But then they went and tore down all the places that were titty bars.
For the exception of like 3 in the county.
Yeah, so there's literally like 3 of them now, and there used to be like 10. Remember that? And like there was like a ton of, and there used to be like a ton of people that come up to Martinsburg on the weekends, like from Virginia, Maryland, D.C. That place was hopping. Like what, 10, 15 years ago?
At least I could probably give you a direction with my eyes closed.
Right? Do you remember when we used to go to Vixen's before I was married? Because do you remember going in there and that place would just be fucking jam-packed full of dudes?
Always. I think that's one of the ones that's that reopened. No, wait. I think there's 4 places that are 4 strip clubs that are open right now. One's bring your own beverage type of strip joint too.
Yeah, which is weird. But yeah, okay. But remember the one we went to up in was it Ranson up in Charlestown? It's like the Golden Horseshoe. Do you remember that one?
Oh yeah, it was one of the first ones I went to.
Oh yeah, that place was fantastic. It's huge. Like they had pool rooms. Like the girls got way too naked. It's like you get a $5 lap dance and they're freaking like trying to have your baby. I was like, whoa, what's going on?
And the thing is, like I said, that was one of the first ones I went to, and I went to. Well, don't worry, folks. We'll get to the geeky content and the sad content in a minute.
Oh, oops, sorry. Yeah. What's for geeky and sad? It's coming.
I went with a buddy of mine. Ironically, folks, I am not shitting. I'm living here for the past 20 plus years. I knew a lot of Chris's. So the person I'm going to be talking about, let's call him Sisyphus. Let's say that. Because it's close to his name, and his his girlfriend at the time used to dance for...
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
For legs here in Martinsburg while it was still open. And he said, why don't you, me, and my girlfriend go up to the Golden Horseshoe? Now, this shit was... What was funny is that me and him were like just entranced at the dancers, and yet his girlfriend was like being this sports commentator in regards to dancers, in regards to like, look how she's working that pole, and her leg strength is amazing. She's climbing that thing like a spider, and both me and him like,
yeah, great, whatever.
And it was also that same club that every night, I think around about like midnight to maybe about 1:30, they do a raffle and a panties sell. Like they would auction off the panties of the strippers. And I've seen panties go for like $500 a pop.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Literally,
now you remember? Well, you mentioned legs. So the funny story I got about legs is that the one or two times that I ever went there, I went with, I don't remember, it was like after work or like real late at night. I followed you up there because I had no idea where it was. And I remember getting a dance from this girl, Lexi. I'll never forget it. Like because it was only one or two times I had ever been there. I remember getting a dance from this girl named Lexi. So fast forward to a bunch of years later, my wife, when we first started dating, she was like, hey, I want you to go to this birthday party with me. It's for my friend, Christy. I said, okay. I said, I don't know this girl, whatever. Like, do I have to dress up? She's like, no, we're just going. It's like an informal birthday party with her family. She's like my best friend in the whole world. I was like, okay, cool. So we go over to her birthday party. I go in there and like, I don't know anybody, but she comes out from the kitchen and I'm like, why do I know this person? And I'm looking at her. My wife's looking at me. I'm like, she's like, what? I said, I know her. I don't know why. She goes, well, she did go to school where we went to school. I was like, yeah, but that's not it. I said, I can't place it. And then, while she's sitting there with her 3 children and her husband, it dawns on me exactly who that is. That's Lexi. I saw her whole world. I gave her money while she had no clothes on. And here I am at her birthday party. And I'm like, what? So, we're in the car, and like the rest of the day was extremely awkward being over there. We're in the car, and I say to my wife, I was like, honey, well, she wasn't my wife at the time, it was just my girlfriend. I said, honey, that girl, I was like, your friend, like, did she ever dance for money up in West Virginia? She's like, yeah. I was like, at a club called Legs? She's like, yeah. I was like, and what was her name? She goes, Lexi. I was like, yeah, I've seen your friend before. She's like, oh, okay. So, just don't ever tell her husband because he doesn't know. He doesn't know that she danced. I was like, what? I guess what you need.
I'm not going to tell you here. Remind me to tell you after the mics go, in essence, cold. So,
okay.
I do have a tale. I'm just not going to say it on air.
Right.
Just in case, folks. It's one of those type of things.
Well, as far as this woman's husband find out that I know, I can care less. Like, what's he gonna do? Oh yeah, I forgot. He's a black belt. He's a fucking black belt in murderous karate. But whatever.
Like I said, there's just something I might have to tell you that after show. I think there's a few people at work that I know that listen to this. So, let's
okay. So enough said.
Because it contains a lot of folks. Grab your beers, grab your alcohol, because the drinking starts now. The story contains a lot of alleged and supposedly, so I don't want to get in trouble, or nor do I want to get the other person in trouble because it contains a lot of those alleged and supposedly. So I'd rather say it off air with my co-host. That way, everybody's safe and sound. But but one of to kind of move things along, we do have a heavy heart a little bit. You probably heard me talk a little bit about in the intro, and what I'm going to do for this episode, I'm going to, as a kind of a memorial, it's just going to be, you folks at home, you already heard it, I am going to kind of, as a moment of silence for this gentleman, it's going to be just a music only intro out of respect, just this week only, because we got word today that in essence, when I say he's been our voice of God, I mean that with the deepest respect and honor. That is the person who has done our intros, our outros, and in essence our promos that we send out to a few podcasts to kind of advertise us and so forth and so on. We got word today, as of this recording, that he has sadly passed away, and that person's name is George Spike Riel, and over the past 2 years he's provided several aspects of the show that we currently and constantly use, and there is no I won't say no, there's not enough respect and honor to give this gentleman for what he has done for this show, and kind of talking to him every now and again off air in regards to mic uses. And I remember when I was putting together a lot of our panels from Paracon, and I'd go on rants in regards to mic usage, and you should constantly use, like, yeah, you're right, that's what you got to do. He was never one to kind of put us down, and he helped out me. I don't know how many other podcasters he's helped lending his voice. He worked in the Pittsburgh area for radio. I think he was did voice work on Fiverr for a lot of people too. So he lent out his talents for so many, and I can't speak for Big Candy, but he has a lot of my respect, and from a show standpoint, condolences from me, and I want to give out condolences from the show as well to his friends and family. He was the kindest person out there, putting out live videos of his events and stuff from his area. It hit me in the emotional gut today, because it was something that I was not expecting at all. So,
for sure, like, the one thing I want to say is, like, as a dedication to him and his talent, he really legitimized our show. Like, as far as, like, our intros and outros, like, you and I agreed that we wanted to sound more professional, and, like, we should probably hire somebody to help us with that. And this guy filled that, he filled that job to a T. Like when I hear his intro and the outro to the show, I'm so proud of that, because it actually, like, we sound like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be like, I don't think we're legit, but it makes us sound so professional when I hear that. Like, that's us. That's that's who we are. And he did such a great job just with our stuff. Not only, like, our stuff, but everything that he's done that I've heard. But, especially with our stuff, he did such a great job, and I'm, like, forever thankful for it.
And the thing is, I probably would have jumped on Fiverr to get him some, to see what his rates were for additional work to get, now that I won't say now that I know that he was on Fiverr, but if I knew he was actually that affordable, I would have gotten, for some extra filler work, like, and now let's go to our Skype call, stuff like that, filler work. And,
All right.
and folks, this is kind of a little bit of a memorial, and the second type stuff that we got free from him was, I think, earlier this year, which he didn't really have to do. He honestly didn't, but nobody took his offer like he did 2 years ago, but us. And it was just one of those wonderful things that he did. It was like within 5 minutes of me putting in the request, he's like, all right, here you go. I'm like, well, that was quick, and it's awesome too. And it's like, I can, even now in passing, I give him a lot of credit. I give him, I think it was like, when was our panel? Last year, October?
Yeah.
I give him full credit, full shout outs, and and that was one of the things that he did. It's like, you use my stuff for free on the, give at least one shout out. And I've been doing it for over, heck, even now I'm still doing it. And
Yep.
And the thing is, I probably still will. I'll, even now, as a memorial, type of memoriam, I will continue to give him credit where credit is due, because it is his voice. It is him. He gave life, as you said, a little bit of legitimacy to our show. That little bit of professionalism, and us going from, even though we're kind of a 3-bit show, I would have said we're a 4-bit show, but, having that little bit of legitimacy, and, it's like we needed that, and just that mixture and everything he did, and I would have done more with him, and I probably, would have loved, if he was still alive, to have him on the show if he was able to, but now it's in passing, so to speak, and just to hear him do his job and see him just promote others, and his live streams, like, I'm here, being the MC of this event was just wonderful to see at times. So, and it was just shocking. It was like finding out through the Podcast Discovery Center saying that he's passed away. I was like, wait, what? No, he can't be. No, not George, not Spike. No, say it ain't so. And they were like, yeah, go to his page. People are dropping, RIPs on his page like it's nothing. I'm like, oh crap, but nothing was posted on his page in regards to what happened. And I was like, oh, then no, this is sad.
Yeah, it was sad. I thought I misread it when you posted it to me. I was, I was a little upset with that, because I really, really dig that guy's voice. And he did such a good job for us, and it's really sad, anytime anybody passes, but especially somebody who touches you that personally, you know what I mean? So,
like I said, he did a lot for our show, especially what he gave willingly in essence, as a gift twice.
Right.
Granted, I didn't really know him on the personal level, but it was one of those things that I felt it, it's like, oh, dude, wow. And you'd say on a professional level, I did kind of know him, but I wish I knew more of him.
Mm-hmm.
So, and yeah, are we putting this gentleman on a pedestal? Probably, but he has done a lot for our show.
For sure.
And,
he's a big part of our
podcast on the internet and our local area. He did a lot. And he gave 100%, if not 110%, each and every time we requested his services. I'll say that. And
right.
From a professional standpoint, he will be missed.
For sure.
And I don't want to. It's going to come out a little wrong, but we got to move on. The other kind of passing that I want to touch on is, even though Tim Conroy passed away, comedic actor, but the thing is, the one that kind of also affected the both of us from
Grumpy
almost
Cat?
a hobbyist standpoint.
Was Grumpy Cat. Yeah, I know.
Not, yeah, yeah, everybody's going to be talking about Grumpy Cat.
No,
I
it wasn't Grumpy Cat.
Someone, I think I saw going through my Facebook feed, when I was getting out my dinner, was someone posted up that, yeah, Grumpy Cat was a symbol of the alt-right movement. Well, I'm glad he's dead.
Jesus, go away. I'm so tired of that. So tired of everything. Go away. No, nothing, no. Go on.
But
tired. Anyway, who are we sad about?
Stanton Friedman.
Yes, I was very upset about that.
It's like, I for those who don't really know about Mr. Friedman, or Stanton Friedman, let's call him Stan, because that's easier.
Right.
I first knew of this gentleman back in the mid-'90s, when Area 51 was just breaking. And at this time, I just moved to Florida, and I was still kind of big with the whole UFO lore, but not as deep as most people are. But I was kind of sort of like, I'd read a few books about UFO sightings and alien abductions and shit like that. But not too heavy. It was just like all those collections of stories that you might hear. Right. And all of a sudden there's this show that comes on in regards to aliens and other stuff. And this guy comes on. It was Stanton, and he said, I got this exclusive in regards to this mysterious base in Nevada. And it was legitimately, it was that whole aspect of the Area 51 breaking, and it was that one guy that was legendary in the UFO community for the longest time. But it was my first realization with Stan, and seeing Stan on stuff like what was that? It was like that Fox UFO paranormal type show. That
he's been on everything.
Right.
I mean, he's right up there with like the top tier UFO researchers. Him and Giorgio Tsoukalos, and like who's the Chariot of the Gods? I can't remember his name. Eric Von Daniken. He's right up there with all those guys. Like, he's one of the top dudes. Like, when you think UFO research, you think of that guy.
And breaking all that stuff, and MUFON, and that whole 9 yards. It's like, you can't help but, even if you don't know who these folks are, you kind of know their faces, because you watch something about UFOs, Stan and all these guys are just gonna pop on and tell you a lot of either fun horse shit, interesting horse shit, or just plain horse shit. And
it's like a train wreck. You cannot look away.
Oh no, yeah. And the thing is, I tell a lot of people, when it comes to UFO stuff, there is going to be a lot. When I'm kind of like, when it comes to UFOs, I know a little bit more. I'm not in touch with the community as I once was, but I'm almost like how Daniel Benoit is in regards to Bigfoot. Research, folks. Fucking research.
Interesting side note.
Research.
I was going to say,
not
interesting.
Everything's fucking real UFO. It's not a flying goddamn saucer. It could be CGI. But it's so real. It's so real.
Did you hear this week, I was going to say, interesting side note, on Joe Rogan, he had that lady, she writes books about the like government, CIA, secret bases, like, so she did a bunch of books about Area 51. And apparently, like, her big news with the whole thing is this. It's that there was never aliens at Area 51, that it was like the Soviets, and they invaded our airspace and dropped like this, almost like a drone, into our airspace around like one of the bases, like I think White Sands, and it was full of genetically modified children. Like they surgically altered these children to look like aliens, and the whole point was so that Stalin could be like, oh, see, yep, there's aliens. And we got them. We got their technology, and we're going to get you. I was like, what? What? Anyway, that was on Joe Rogan this week.
Wow.
Other than that, she was pretty good. Like, yeah, she talked about, like, CIA assassins, and she talked about, she had a real nice ASMR voice, too, so that was kind of...
Makes you want to slow down and get some rest, because I talk like I am on NPR.
Yeah, she was like, and he showed me this knife upon his mantle that said, "Thank you for being an assassin." And I said, "What was that?" I can't tell you. So I'm just like, wow.
This week on NPR, assassins and their knives that say, "Thank you."
I was just like, what is going on? I don't know, but yeah, yeah, there was a lot of deaths. So who was it? Doris Day died, Tim Conway, somebody else.
Grumpy Cat.
Grumpy fucking cat. Grumpy Cat, no. But yeah, I don't know. There was a lot of death this week. Wasn't a pretty week.
No, it wasn't.
So, anyway, moving on.
Something lighter. Let's see.
Right.
Word came out this week that Bill, to kind of go on to a little bit of Ghostbusters news, and it's a lighter news. It was announced that Bill Murray is now attached to Ghostbusters 2020. I think he's like the second person that was now confirmed to be attached to this, or third person attached. I think Ernie Hudson is now, way back when the film was first announced a few months ago, or last year sometime, he was announced that, I wasn't really asked about the movie, and all of a sudden, 2 months later, "Hey Ernie, you want to be a part of this?" Okay. Now it's Bill Murray's turn. I think Dan Aykroyd's part of this. So there's a few other folks that I think now everything is coming together. I think right now all we need is the NPC SJW crowd to start picking up their voices and start bitching and complaining about but our movie, our 2016, we want a sequel because it didn't do too well.
Hey, you know who I heard was going to take the place of Egon?
Who?
Donald Trump.
Yeah, let that trigger a couple of people. Donald Trump is going to be Egon.
Right? That'd be so awesome. just to make him even that more mad. We're gonna bust the ghost.
Somewhere in the get him to actually go to the movie. Tell him there's a picture of Donald Trump somewhere in the movie, and they have to find it.
We're gonna bust some ghosts. It's gonna be fantastic. We're gonna go all the way to China. We're gonna bust ghosts in China.
I said, just tell him that don't put any photo of Donald Trump in it, or tell everybody, oh, Donald Trump's going to be in this, so they could go and rant and rave about it. Oh, you didn't. You just probably went to the bathroom at the wrong time. Go back and see it.
Yeah, go back see it again. Go back one more time.
One more time. Go back and see it. Ghostbusters #1 for the third week in a row. It might break Endgame. What's going on?
You know your famous picture of Green Lantern Thor?
Yeah.
Okay. So I thought of one that might top that if I could get somebody to draw it.
What? Trump
and at the same time, kind of piss off some people too. It would be Thor Ghostbuster. Right? And in a way, it's kind of funny because remember, Chris Hemsworth was in SJW Ghostbusters, so. But But yeah, I think Thor Ghostbuster might top your, if done correctly, might top your Green Lantern Thor.
Post it up. It'll probably piss the people off that are actually pissed off about. I'd probably laugh about it, even though I didn't like the movie. But it'll piss off the people that hated the movie even more than I did. Right.
Be kind of funny. Just make me laugh.
And speaking about Avengers and stuff like that, have you heard about, to kind of move on to a little bit of Endgame news and all that,
No.
did you hear the current fan theory in regards to Captain America?
No.
Well, it kind of goes like this, because we both know, if you haven't seen Endgame already, fuck you, fuck spoilers, fuck all that shit. We're going to dive right into it. So screw
you should have seen the goddamn movie. It's already been out for 2 fucking weeks. What's your problem?
Over 2 weeks. Go out, see John Wick right now, come back, ignore Endgame, because we're going to talk about that shit. Then we're going to talk probably a little bit later John Wick 3. But still, in regards to, as we know, Cap went, back, used the Pym particles to go back in time to return all the Infinity Stones back to their original location.
Right.
Now, the theory goes is that he quite possibly returned the Soul Stone first, and upon doing so, released Black Widow, which, upon that, with Black Widow's help, got done putting back all the stones in the proper order. And once that happened, Steve Rogers got his last dance with Peggy. I think that's what her name was. Got that last dance with her, and not to mess up the timeline, because at this point that she was still alive, married, not Peggy, married Black Widow.
Oh.
And lived that because marrying Peggy would have screwed up the timeline even more, or worse than to help save the timeline. Didn't marry Peggy, just had to dance.
My wife brought that up. My wife brought that up today, as a matter of fact. She was like, well, wait a minute. If he went back and married Peggy Carter, then, didn't that screw up the entire timeline? And, a whole bunch of shit would have been fucked up. But then, I was like, well, because I couldn't explain it, so I was like, no, it would have been a different timeline. And then I was like, no, because that would have messed up all the timelines. So, yeah. I mean, I don't know that he married Black Widow, but, I mean, it makes sense.
But that's because it kind of not only makes sense, because even at the end of the movie, and they Falcon notices the wedding ring, and he kind of mentions who's the lucky gal, and he just smiles and says, "I'm not." In essence, I'll never tell, or I'm not telling.
He couldn't tell.
What?
Well, he couldn't tell, because if he was to tell that she lived, then he would have screwed up a whole bunch more shit.
Right. So he said, "I'm not telling." So therefore, there's in essence, a clue that it was Black Widow, even though it could have been Black Widow, because we don't know how long she might have even lived. Because Steve Rogers could live easily 100+ years because of the Super Soldiers program that he was in.
Right.
Stuff that's still in his body.
Right.
So Black Widow could have passed away years prior to this event, and he still was faithful.
Right.
And had that ring in remembrance of her.
True.
So, which leads me to this next little bit, which even a few people were like, dude, they should have done that. Which was the fact that I'm sure you've seen me share it, was the Stan Lee cameo should have been, instead of it being Chris Evans, it should have been Stan Lee as future Cap, or Old Man Cap, and that the fact that every cameo that Stan Lee had was just, in essence, Cap checking in on everybody.
I don't know about all that.
No, it's one of those things that was
it sounds nice.
That everybody was like, you know what? That would have been, the ultimate kicker. In a way.
The thing is, it sounds nice now that he's dead.
Right.
But at the same time, like, imagine if they would have pulled that shit when he was still living, people wouldn't have been so fond of it. Honestly, it would have been like, oh, it's kind of a cheap way to, Because like, how would you explain him in Thor Ragnarok when he was the psychotic hair cutter? That wasn't Steve Rogers.
Gotta cut that here so we match for Infinity War. Gotta cut that hair.
I liked it better when he was like hanging out with the Watchers. I thought that was cool. I liked it more that he was like, it was more of like he's a kind of like the god of that universe aspect, that he's just always kind of there as some person, like saying just exactly what needs to be said at the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that be the case, how would you explain all the stuff that all his cameos and the kind of the X-Men universe sort of things? So
right, exactly. So I think him as just being those characters was fine, was good enough. I'm not so keen on him being Captain America. No. I thought what they did was fine.
Yeah, true. I think, again, we're bringing topics up for the show and everything else. And to kind of stick on with, Stan Lee, it came out also this week that his former manager has been not arrested, been charged for elder abuse. None of the articles I've seen said that he's turned himself in, or nothing's come out that he's turned himself in as of yet. But the charges were made that for the folks at home, about this time last year, if not late 2017, early 2018, a lot of stuff was coming out that there was like sexual harassment charges placed on Stan Lee. Everything that was coming out sounded extremely fishy. A lot of folks were saying, like, what's going on with Stan Lee? Just a lot of this odd shit was coming out, and like his blood was stolen to be used as ink for stamps with his like signature stamps and stuff like that. Money was like taken out of his account without permission, and all this weird shit that was going down that no one knew what was going on. And all of a sudden, it was about late July, early August, sometime in around there, somebody called in a welfare check for Stan Lee. And so the cops went to his apartment or wherever he was staying at the time, and in the process, his manager came up and started causing a whole mess of shit, saying that there's a break-in in Stan Lee's house, and his manager was, this guy was doing a whole mess of false reports. So a protection order was, one of these orders, separation orders, whatever the heck they're called, was given against this guy. He's like, you can't be within like a 500 yards of Stan Lee at any given time. You got to stay away. And as soon as that actually happened, Stan Lee actually started to be better, cared for better, and now it's just that all this fraud and illegal stuff from this manager has come out, and these charges were placed, which is a good thing. Hopefully, on the up note, that this guy actually turns himself in, and if and when he does, he'll probably get his ass beat in prison. Because there are a few people, I'm sure there's quite a few people in prison that are comic book fans, and when they find out that this guy pretty much abused their hero, they would probably treat him like a child pornographer or some shit like that.
Yeah, for sure.
His ass.
You don't go around beating on little old man and misbehaving and like abusing them. That's ridiculous. And like it was so sad too, because to me, like, well, up until this point, like he had led a pretty quiet life of like dignified celebrity is what I would call it. Like anytime you saw Stan Lee, it was always a great thing.
Right.
But just until right up until like maybe a year before he died, there was just so much crap in the news about him that was just like, why now? Why right when like everything's really kicking off for Marvel and like the the movies are great and stuff, and like he's getting up in his age and he's about to he's about to kick it, and we all knew it was happening. Why now? Why at this moment did you decide to smear his legacy? It was so sad watching all that go down.
And before his passing, his new management team that he had was actually looking after him and saying, like, because of his health, no more appearances. Even though he loves each and every one of you, we got to look after his health. If he does any appearances, they're going to be local. Again, just to make sure that Mr. Lee is in good health. So, and I think a lot of fans respected that. And like, hey, we got to keep Stan alive. Let's see if we could have him hit that triple number mark. Sadly he didn't, but it's what the fans would have loved to have seen. Keep Stan alive. But
yeah. Well, I have a feeling that a lot of that stuff took its toll on him too. That was very stressful. And, for an older person, all that talk of, like, people coming after you and, like, people doing things to you or, like, people taking your money and your blood or whatever else and being accused of stuff that you never did. He came back quite a couple times with his own messages, like, on blogs and stuff. And, you could tell he wasn't all there, some of the stuff he would say, but he shouldn't have been put in that position to begin with.
And the thing is, some of those messages that he put out, a lot of fans have said that, he was reading from a script.
Right. Yeah.
So, again...
Sounded coerced or whatever.
Yeah, and some people have stated that the people that called the welfare check on him last year were fans. That the LAPD is the one that got bombarded. You got to check on Stan. Go check on Stan. We haven't heard from him. I don't think he's doing too well. So I guess the LAPD said, let's just go. And once that happened, they realized that, wait a minute, something is going down here, especially when shit was actually going down.
Yeah.
So at least everything right now is hopefully will get to be put to rest legally. So.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know.
Even though we kind of, I'm going to skip that because we kind of covered it first thing in the show, and that was Arnold Schwarzenegger getting attacked and just brushing it off like a boss. But
who kicked me?
Yeah, who kicked me?
Somebody kill you. I kill you.
I kill you. I'll kick your ass.
You kick me right in the tumor.
Right in the tumor.
You don't kick my tumor.
I'll get Jean-Claude Van Damme to kick your ass. Make it look like a pussy like he is. But, one of the other things that came out recently was that I would love to see the pilot when it comes out to see how well they do it. But that's if Hulu finally gets its act together and works. Side note, Hulu is now completely owned by Disney, or will be over the next few years.
Right.
Because, as folks know, that prior to their takeover of Fox, they only owned a small take of Hulu. And when they bought Fox, they earned a bigger, sizable chunk of Hulu. I think right now they own maybe 85% of Hulu right now, and the remaining 15% is owned by Xfinity/NBC. And I think right now they have a deal with Xfinity and Disney have a deal for the next like 5 or 6 years that Xfinity has to stay with Hulu for during that time.
Right.
And at the end of that term, it's either an asking price from Xfinity or current stock price. And some people have stated that just watch, Disney is going to get their revenge on Comcast/Xfinity by going for current stock value.
Yeah.
In essence, to get even with them for jacking up the Fox deal by an extra $20 billion.
Yeah.
So
that's crazy. All these like mega conglomerates like buying each other out.
Yeah.
It's insane.
But to get it back on the real original topic is that it was also announced that Hulu, as their answer to Game of Thrones, which is ending its run this year.
Right.
And I think they're trying to it might be too little too late, but they want to grasp at that before the ring passes by. They want to of grasp at it and try to get some of those fans in.
In Sunday, the last show?
Something like that. And everybody's been hating on this current season 8 of Game of Thrones, as they're saying it sucks. But what Hulu wants to do is that they bought the rights to Stephen King's book, Through the Eyes of the Dragon. This is one of my favorite books that was written by Stephen King. It's a thin book, so to speak. It's supposed to be kind of a fantasy type of novel that takes place in the Dark Tower universe, and it's more game. It's kind of written more towards like a young teen, or not young teen, an older teen audience. But I think they could expand on it. But It all depends on how well Hulu can do such a thing. But I don't see it lasting more than a season, 2 seasons tops.
Well, what do you think about the Batwoman trailer?
I didn't get a chance to see it, but a lot of people have said it was horrid.
I don't think it's horrid.
I don't see horrid. I said horrid.
That's what I said. I don't think it's horrid.
But
like, in what way? Like, what were they talking about?
I think a lot of people were saying that I didn't really dive into it, but I think they were saying it came off a little bit too SJW-y.
Oh, they say that about everything. It's just, the problem is there was some obvious lesbian scenes in there. That's all it was. And I think they're just trying to show, like, they're trying to, like, just get your baseline for the character and who she is.
Alright, I get, but if that be the case, I'll have to see it. I'm not going to pass any judgment until I see a couple episodes. But then again, a lot of, with the exception of maybe 1 or 2 CW hero shows, it has been very preachy at times.
No, yeah, for sure. But the thing is, like, the problem is people on the right are starting to get just as friggin' snowflakey and triggered as the people on the left with a lot of stuff. Dude, they're trying. Yes, they want there to be a lesbian superhero. Like, yes, they think it's time. Well, I mean, you got to start somewhere, because like it's going to be a thing at some point. So right now, I guess is like they're going to use the Batwoman for that vehicle to. But I mean, it's nothing they haven't seen. Like Legends of Tomorrow, there's they're one of their top characters is a lesbian.
That too. It's like
relationships. So it's like it's not hard. It's not like I'm gonna be like, ugh, gasp. It's like
let's use 2 current shows that the CW has.
Right.
One I kind of don't mind how they worked it, and the other one that's kind of just it put me off the show in essence altogether.
Right.
Let's go with the one that hasn't put me off the show that I think they're kind of doing somewhat well. That's Legends of Tomorrow. They touch on it, but it's not like every 5 minutes, I'm a lesbian.
Right.
I'm a lesbian. I'm a lesbian.
Yeah.
And it's not like that. It's secondary. The storyline is front and foremost. You want to see the Legends of Tomorrow kick ass and do their thing. But
I think when it's more streamlined into the show, that's when it's better. Like if it's not like a focal point of the show, that I think because listen, it's 2019. We all know that there's hetero relationships and there's homosexual relationships. There's lesbians, there's gay people. We get it. And the thing is, if you have a couple on a show, whether they be hetero or they be homo, I think you can get away. Like if you just have it like they're in a relationship, but don't be like all like in your face with it. Like I think everything it's going to work out, over time, to where it's going to normalize it to a point. You know what I'm saying? That's what I would do.
Legends kind of streamlined it, but in the early part of Supergirl this past season, it put me off because it was just like slapping you in the face, like, let's halt the storyline to tell you that Supergirl's sister is a lesbian. Slap, 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 slap. And it just halted just to tell you, guess what? My sister is a lesbian. And I'm like, no, that's not what I want. I want to see Supergirl kick ass. Come on. That's what I'm here for. I want to see Supergirl be Supergirl. I want to see a powerful female superhero. Not you stopping the program every 15 seconds to let everybody know that her sister is a lesbian. We get it. Fine. Let's move along.
Yeah,
it's like watching Batman's parents die every fucking movie.
Exactly.
It's slapping me in the face. No, I don't want to see that.
We get it. It's like that's what I'm going to say to all these people. We get it. We fucking get it. It's like, okay, enough with the virtue signaling. We fucking get it. Like, we've seen lesbians before. We've seen gay people. We know what they look like. Okay, enough. Just tell the damn story. That's where it gets kind of off the rails with me as far as all that goes.
I said that right now. I think people saying, well, they're doing kind of like the Superman Red type of story, like the Superman when he the one shot where he fell in Russia instead of America. That type of line was like co-storyline of Supergirl, but it just the first part of the season just put me off. I'm like, I don't care. Oh, great, this person's Lex. That's awesome. But I'm not interested anymore because you put me off the show early in the season.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't know.
A lot of the NPCs, the SJWs are. You're not watching it because you're being a sexist. No, I'm not, because you're shoving shit down my throat that I don't want to watch. I want to see a strong superhero kick the fuck ass, and we'll get. I enjoyed Wonder Woman. I enjoyed Lucy. As bad as a movie that was, I enjoyed it. There are countless other movies I enjoyed with a strong strong female lead in it. And we'll get into another strong female lead in a few minutes. It's how they write the damn story that pisses me off. And to use the excuse you're being an such and such ist is stupid. It makes you sound stupid. It's like, no, the writing sucks. How they dealt with the character sucks. How the person's portraying the character sucks. But but you're being an it. Well, in this case, if you want to say that, then fine. Shut up. I liked all these movies. I will probably like other movies. Just that this one sucks. And it's.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. Like, beating one over the head with over and over and over again, it'll tear you away from whatever it is you're watching. It's never a good scene.
And to kind of get into a little bit, kind of also move on and talk about fanboy rage. It was reported yet not reported, because it's one of those things like we're reporting that this person is going to be doing this. No, he's not. No, he's not. Yes, he is. He's in training. We're getting word that the person's in training. No, he's not. No. And that is Twilight's Team Edward. Robert Pattinson
no.
will be the next Batman.
Glitter Batman.
Glitter Batman. That's been the memes all happening past couple of days. The thing is, a lot of reports are saying that he's in training to become Batman, getting all buffed out and everything else. But DC and Warner Brothers has been saying, no, he's not. Yet he's in training, but no, he's not. And the atypical fanboy and girl rage has been going on. Like, we don't want it. We don't want it. Why you don't want it?
Well, you know what's funny? I haven't seen him in the outfit yet. I have no idea how he's beefing up for the role. Hell, he might be great. I don't know. But, like, it is kind of silly, like, the fan outrage, like, and they're bringing up Twilight. I'm like, dude, first of all, Twilight, the last one came out, like, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, something like that?
Something like that. And the thing is, a lot of folks like yourself, and I'll agree with that point, and the people, and that point is, like, look at Heath Ledger as Joker. Look at what's his name? The original Batman. I forgot his name.
Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton. Look at Michael Keaton as Batman.
Right.
Heath Ledger as Joker. Well, heck, look at Michael Keaton as Vulture.
Right.
He did an awesome job as both Batman.
Of course he did. And the thing is, Robert Pattinson, for all that you want to say, like, if you think about it, like, think about how he's going to look as Bruce Wayne. Now, I don't know that you saw the Twilight movies, but, like, in the Twilight movies, he plays, you know, basically a pretty good-looking dude, like a vampire, you know, all the same, but he's a pretty good-looking dude from, like, a well-to-do family. And he pulled it off great. So, like, when it comes to playing, like, Bruce Wayne, he's going to look the part. He's going to do really well. But now, as Batman, is he going to have the chops to, like, you know, look as rough as Batman? I don't know. He did good in the action scenes that I've seen him in, and he's actually a really good actor. But, like, the biggest thing is just everybody's going to want to make that joke. They're going to want to make that connection with the whole, like, Twilight thing with Batman, and that's what's going to end up really fucking stopping that film from getting anywhere. The only way that it's going to do any good is if I don't know who's directing, but whoever's directing is really going to have to get on the campaign early and get some scenes of him kicking some ass.
Robert training, kicking ass, you know.
Yeah.
You know,
like really get it out there that this is not Edward the Sparkly Vampire. This is fucking, you know, Bruce Wayne. This is your new Batman. This is like, you know, like this is the guy who's going to be in like the next 3 or 4 movies or whatever. So like you gotta establish that shit now, like early on, or else he's never going to get past the fucking bullshit with the, you know, him being a cartoon character.
All right, as soon as he's confirmed and the training is confirmed, they got to release his training and.
Do it like they did with the John Wick movie for John Wick 2. What got everybody super excited was they released the scenes of Keanu Reeves when he was training at the gun range, and people were like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah, and again, we'll get into it in regards to Halle
They
Berry.
did the same with Halle Berry on the new one.
Yeah. And there was more, we'll get into that in a little bit. Actually, we could, kind of the movie talk is next, and let's move right into the John Wick stuff.
Okay.
With what happened was like a lot of people were kind of skeptical about. I seen John Wick today. Let me say that there's going to be. I do recommend this movie. I mean, it is worth the price of admission to see this. Go see it in the theater. If you miss it in the theater, when it comes out on DVD or Blu-ray, pick it up, watch this shit. You have to watch. I mean, John Wick kicks fucking ass in this. And it's a continuation of not minute one after the sequel. It takes place maybe about 20 minutes, 30 minutes after that initial time limit is set. You know, he's got 1 hour.
So, like, I'm trying to remember the end of the second one. Like, the end of the second one, basically, he finds out, like, every agent on Earth is going to kick his ass or something. Much, right?
Because he committed, in essence, a violation at the Continental.
Right.
The guy in charge pretty much says, all right, because he's, you know, it's John fucking Wick. You know, it's not Joe Blow, it's John fucking Wick. And who commands respect by pretty much fucking everybody. And the guy that runs the Continental said, well, what you did was bad. You broke the rules. Well, I got to do something in regards to this. But in essence, to sum up the sequel, he pretty much says, I'm going to give you an hour. You have an hour. Great. Once that hour's up, you are on your own. I cannot, any favor you can get with the coins, done. You can't get any favors. No one's going to help you. Everybody's going to be out for your fucking ass. Literally. Everybody. And the first maybe 15, 20 minutes of this movie is that hour. So it's not taking up the full runtime of the movie.
Right.
But some of what you see in the trailer is of during this time frame. And one of the nice things that he kind of does with this hour is like, I gotta protect this dog, this pit bull, this lovable pit bull. He's like, he gets in a cat. You see it in the trailer, so I'm not giving anything away. He's like, he gets in the trailer. It's like, I need to get to the library, New York library.
Yeah.
But there's a traffic jam. He's like, oh, crap. He looks at his dog and he's like, and says, could you take my dog to the Continental? You know, he's a real good dog. And that's when you see him pet the dog. Like, he's a good boy. You're a good dog. And see that he's cared for. And it just, you know, hits the ground. It literally hits the ground running. Like you see in the sequel where there's like, let's call it Carfu.
Right.
He kicks ass with literally cars. He does this with horses. Literally.
Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord.
He uses horses as weapons.
All right.
So, he literally, like I said, let's see, in one movie he killed a guy with a pencil. I think that was the second one. This movie he kills a guy with a book.
Nice.
I'm not talking. If it was it would have been more awesome if it was a paperback. But no, this was a nice hardbound book.
Right.
There were parts in that first maybe 30 minutes, 45 minutes, where the whole theater was like, "Ow, ow, that hurt. That hurt me." And that's what he was doing to people who were going against him. Like with knives. People were just like, ow, ow, ow. John, stop. Ow. He's dead. Ow, ow. Ooh, my arm hurts.
Oh, you're desecrating a corpse. Stop.
But at one point you have the introduction of Halle Berry's character. And she trained, her footage came out in regards to her at the gun range, learning to use weapons and doing to kick ass. And I think it came out as well that in her training, she bruised a rib.
Oh.
So she literally trained hard for this role, how to fight with, in regards to pick up the dog and use dog as a weapon, but like canine units, how people use dogs as a weapon.
Right.
And her role didn't come off as, her fighting style in the movie didn't come off as strong as Keanu's character, but it was just as well done and well choreographed as his character. I think it's because of the dogs as a a fighting style or included as a fighting style and as a weapon.
Right.
Again, you see a taste of that in the trailers, but it's a little bit different. You can't really put your finger on it. It's just as cool, but it's kind of like everything that you see the dogs do.
Yeah.
They can, if you follow kind of like dog challenges, like there's one part where one of the gunmen that they go up against is up, kind of up on a roof, maybe about 15 feet up, give or take, maybe 20. Yeah. And she calls one of the dogs over and kind of crouches down, and the dog pretty much hops that distance. Now, there are challenges that you could probably, folks at home, you can look on YouTube. There are dog high jump challenges that dogs can go up like 15, 20 feet vertically.
No.
That, you know, there's like a little ball up there. Obviously, they're easily let down. That they're able to climb that height.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, everything that they show is plausible in regards to a real life scenario. So, and you could tell none of the dogs were harmed. Anything that shows like one of the dogs pushing a guy off a ledge, you could see like a pile of mattresses or a pile of something soft to break everybody's fall, that nobody or the dogs would be hurt in any way, shape, or form. So, everything again was plausible and something that the dogs would do.
Right.
And it's just a little weird. I think it's a little weird to see on screen because I don't think a lot of people have seen canine unit. People are familiar with canine units in regards to police, but not in a military setting like that.
Right.
So I think that's what is the off-putting part, but it's done very well.
That's good.
I think overall, I want to say it's good. It's a hard 8.
Wow.
For me, and it doesn't end as you think. You have to, folks at home, what really kind of spoiled, I wouldn't say spoiled the movie for me, is that in essence John Wick is going to come out somewhat okay in this. I mean that metaphorically, because they kind of leave off with him in a somewhat bloody heap, wounded heap, but is the fact that the report that came out maybe about 2 months ago that Keanu said, I'll keep doing, all of you out there keep watching John Wick movies and loving John Wick movies, I will keep doing John Wick movies. Kind of spoils the ending, don't you think?
Yeah, right.
But then again, even with that, it's #1 in the box office this week.
Right. #1. Check out Avengers.
And which means John Wick, let me put it like this, the John Wick trilogy, that I'm including this in this, is not your atypical popcorn action flick.
No.
It's an action flick that's kind of done well and right.
Yeah.
And it's kind of hard to place because a lot of people have put down Keanu as this mediocre or sucky actor. I think he's grown as an actor since his early days, and I think a lot of people can't get beyond Bill and Ted and a lot of his earlier shit that were quite possibly not the best.
Right.
I think now is the time that he is at his peak, and the dude's like 60 fucking years old, 65 years old.
Is he that old?
Ass.
Get the fuck out of here.
He's like 60 some odd years old.
No shit.
Yeah, he was like in his 30s when he was doing Bill and Ted.
Oh, okay, because you say that, and honestly, I thought the dude was like maybe like 40 something, like 45.
No, he's in his 60s.
God damn, really?
Yeah.
Do a check. I want to see, like, go on Wikipedia or whatever right now. I want to see what exactly how old he is.
Let's do a Google search. Let's see. Come on.
I don't believe he's in his 60s for a second. There's no way.
How old is Keanu? 50. He's 54 years old.
54. Okay, not in the 60s. Jesus Christ. I was like, if that dude's 65, holy shucks.
But he's still 54, man.
At 54, you know.
Heck, let's get another fucking Expendables with Keanu Reeves in it because of what he's been doing.
Yeah, right? You could do it.
He could do it. He could pull. I think he could pull it off. I think if Stallone and Schwarzenegger did in another, like an Expendables 4, they would want Keanu as part of it because I think he's proved himself.
Yeah, I think for sure we're getting a Bill and Ted now. So
we're getting a Bill and Ted. We're probably getting a John Wick 4.
Yeah, we're getting a John Wick 4. What would the only thing left for him to do would be like somehow do another Matrix?
I think he wants to be a part of the reboot.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he does. Watch, he'd probably be like the Source.
The Source of somebody.
Yeah.
They'll work him into it because he's that kind of guy. It's like, let me do it. I want to work. I want to be that action dude. You know, it's like I've grown. Let's see the part. Let's see the role.
What would you think of Keanu as like Agent Smith?
Oh, what a twist!
That would be a nice little twist. That'd be a neat little twist.
Do you know why I use this face, Neo? You changed that name because of the original one. Little do you know, I was the one, and I chose this face because it's the face that beat me. What a twist would that be? I chose this face because it was the person that beat me.
Yep. That would work. That would definitely work.
And I would laugh my ass off if the person that played what would have been Keanu's character just go, whoa.
Whoa.
I would just laugh my ass off.
Or I guess he could make another Speed movie.
Oh, no, not Speed. No.
No Speed.
No more Speed. Let's keep the Speed to ourselves.
Like, what's the odds of that happening twice? Still can't get over that one.
But
gotta keep going, or else it'll blow up. This time it's him on a scooter.
I just gotta make this at least 5 miles an hour all the time. Keep it at 5 miles an hour. No.
You just see him scooting everywhere. Oh no, a branch.
And it's rising fast.
And he does like a little tail whip. Made it.
As long as we can get Christian Slater to come by with a skateboard.
Right. Gleaming the cube.
But
what does that mean? I don't know.
But I really enjoyed John Wick 3. They did a great job with it. Especially in essence how it ended.
Yeah.
Because the overall storyline of this is that in 2 it was like the bad guy's power play using Wick to take over in essence the High Council or what they call the Table. And this is the Table's in essence going after John Wick and his friends helping him in regards to that. And it ends on a great note and a great way to kind of continue the storyline. I'm not going to give the ending. I do recommend going out there and seeing this movie, seeing an action-packed, action movie kind of done right. And yes, there are going to be times that you're going to go, ow, 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 my arm, it hurts. Or, damn, I think one person got stabbed in the dick twice. I was like, ow, ow, ow.
Very nice, I felt very nice. Oh, come on. That's awful.
But I think again, you kind of see it in the trailer. It's like the whole aspect with the knife scenes.
Right.
And it's just that scene was just bloody awesome as it was well choreographed, and there's like the tail. Let me just spoil that. The tail end of that is like one of the other guys just moves a little bit, and he's like picks up an axe that's laying next to him, and just tosses at the guy and kills him with it. Like, you moved, thunk. Like, that's funny. He doesn't say you moved and just tosses. The guy just moves a little bit and it's like, he moved, thunk. Like, I'm like, dude.
Yeah, because of the Fortnite aspect. I don't know if you heard of that, but like, there's a John Wick character in Fortnite. So, Fortnite went ahead and added his house that he has in the movies, and he also added the Continental into an area called Neo Tilted Towers into the new Season 9 of Fortnite. So my son, who has never seen John Wick 1 or 2, he's like, oh, I want to see John Wick 3. I'm like, do you even know what John Wick is? He's like, no, but I want to see it.
Well, son, it's all about a puppy.
Yeah, right? That's what I told him. I said, well, do you like puppies? I said, you don't want to see that then.
You're too young. You're too... When you get a little bit older and start loving the 3Bs, then we'll talk and show you John Wick.
I'll show him some movies, but he probably shouldn't watch. But I'm not going to go that far. I've been debating whether he's old enough for Spaceballs. I think he is.
Yeah, Spaceballs is probably safe. Galaxy Quest.
Yeah.
Maybe.
It's got some language, but nothing he doesn't hear from his mother and me. So.
Maybe some Jay and Silent Bob, but nothing.
No, he wouldn't get a lot of that humor. That's the only problem. He wouldn't get that stuff. He would like more of the slapstick stuff. Like I want to show him Dracula Dead and Loving It, because that's a funny one.
Have you introduced him to Stooges?
Yeah, he's seen them before.
Okay, but
he thinks they're funny. I don't know. I know he's not John Wick ready for sure.
Take some time to get some John Wick ready.
Yeah, he liked the Avengers and he likes Spider-Man, but those are pretty easy to like, as far as comic book movie stuff. I'm just excited to see that they're already talking about the new phases with the the new enemies and the new villains or whatever. And the two names that I'm really surprised that are coming up, but I'm super happy about is Dr. Doom and Galactus. I'm like, hopefully either way, I'm
right. And Galactus is not smoke.
You're right. I said either way, I'm fine. I'm fine with either one.
And to kind of still continue with our movie talk a little bit, I think you've seen the next movie I'm going to talk about. I got a chance to see it recently. I think I spoke about it a little bit on a live stream, but not here on the podcast itself. And that is, finally got a chance to watch Bleach on Netflix.
Oh yeah, that's so good.
I haven't seen, folks at home, I haven't seen the anime. I do realize the movie is probably a summary of the anime, kind of like how the Full Metal Alchemist movie was kind of a condensed version of the cartoon. So right. I do want to now check out the anime to see how it compares and how the story actually stretches out, and if it has ended, to see how it actually ends.
Right.
But what I really want to concentrate and talk about is this kind of the ending of the movie. Not that I didn't get it, I got it. It's the fact that the main character, that the trope,
right.
that happens to this motherfucker, he in essence gets his ass handed to him by the big bad. He gets up, then the lieutenant, if you want to call him that, the best way to describe this guy is the fucking lieutenant. The best of the best of the best goes toe-to-toe with the main character, knocks the main character down hard, blows this motherfucker up. The main character gets off, brushes himself off, and in essence says, block. And the lieutenant is like, holy fucking shit. You know what? I am out of this. You know what? Dude, you have earned my respect. Because that's what, in essence, happens. He kind of like, oh shit, he lived. Fuck. And the general then comes out, and you're like, no, I got this now. You just sit your ass down. Let me do this. He takes the main character down three goddamn times. Literally. Slices this dude down. And he gets back up and says, I ain't done yet. You still got to deal with my... Most people would have taken the stance of the lieutenant. Dude. Dude. You proved yourself. Dude.
Yeah, right?
Dude. Even the general, would have went... Most people would have went, dude, prove yourself. You know, the fight's over. I'm done. Let's just bygones. No, the general's got to be a fucking asshole. Well, I'm sure. God damn it. Give the dude credit. Even most top tier bad guys would give this motherfucker credit. Like, you know what? Shit, I'm out, man. I was going to take over the planet. Fuck. I'll turn myself in. You proved yourself to me to be a worthy opponent.
Yep.
Let me put it like this: as much as the fifth Hellraiser sucked, let me put it like that: the fifth Hellraiser sucked. But Pinhead, when fronted by his, in essence, oldest enemy that kept getting away, even acknowledged the fact that she was a worthy adversary. Just said, you know what? This is what makes you my worthiest adversary. You are a smart, intelligent adversary. This is what would make my win. You know, in a way, he's saying, if and when I finally win, it's going to be that much better. Because you are the best. You keep me on my toes. This bastard of a general, this fucker, doesn't say that shit.
No.
No, he has to be the fucking asshole.
Pretty much.
It takes his daughter to be that person to kind of say, you know, do what you got to do to sit down, shut up, and, you know, take it like a man. No. That shit could have come from the general. Like, you've done... Listen, you showed honor, you showed respect. You got it from me. You got it. You stepped up. No, this motherfucker.
Yeah, right? Yeah, it's got its issues, but, like, for the most part, I thought it was done well, you know? As far as an adaptation, like, goes, it's one of the better ones, like... I became a big fan of the Blood Sea movies, and the live action wasn't that great for that.
Right.
The worst one by far, though, if you ever want to tear your eyeballs out at how bad a movie can be, don't ever rent or watch the Attack on Titan live action, because it'll make you want to, like, rip off your own endocrine system and throw it in a wood chipper, because it's really bad.
Makes me want to watch it.
Yeah, no. I was just done. When I saw it, I was like, yep, nope. It's bad. And I'm not one of I'm pretty one of those people that, like, I think everything's good. You know what I mean? Like, I can watch something and just see the good in it. Oh, it wasn't that bad. Like, they tried. Like, seriously, Attack on Titan, the original, like, live action, they didn't try. I don't know what they were doing.
I'm always watching it just to torture myself, because I'm an old school Roger Corman fan, and that I'll sit in the chair or something, you know, just yell at the TV screen for fucking 2 hours. But you know,
no. You're getting entertaining confused with bad.
Isn't Anaconda bad?
It's beyond Anaconda bad.
Oh, that
They
I gotta see it just to see.
legitimately tried to make a good movie and did not make a good movie. Like, at all. Like, it's right up there with fucking... Like, if I would have had to pay to see that shit, I would have walked the fuck out. It was that bad. It was almost Ghost Rider 2 bad.
Oh.
That's one of the only movies, like, there's two movies I know of for sure that I almost walked out of. Well, one I did walk out of. Was Operation Condor. It was a Jackie Chan movie. And the other one was Ghost Rider 2.
The only movie I walked out of was
Ghost Rider 2 didn't make a lick of fucking sense whatsoever. And the only good shining moment about that is the parts where, like, he was losing his mind as, like, turning into Ghost Rider, and that was it. Everything else was just, like, fucking filler garbage, and the story was terrible.
But
it was fucking awful.
Part of me wants to see it rent it, just to torture myself, to pull out what little hair that I had or have left. Why is your hair missing in patches? I saw that Attack on Titan live action.
Yeah.
But
I'll say this: it was worse than Star Wars, the last Star Wars movie.
You mean Last Jedi?
Last Jedi. It was worse than that.
But there was.
And you know how much I hate that fucking movie.
Yeah, let's not go there right now. I don't think either of us have that kind of our time.
God damn fucking yeah! Let's go away from the fucking battle and then just come back randomly. Fuck.
To kind of get your mind off that particular topic, the kind of final movie I want to discuss. I don't know if you've ever seen this movie. I picked it up. It was on sale on Vudu. I figured it's been a while since I've seen it. I kind of liked it as a kid. And I've been kind of hearing I don't want to say good things about it because of how well it was done, but the movie I picked up was Disney's Black Hole.
Black Hole. Is it the one with the outer space, the ship, and they're like about 1972 or 3 or something like that?
It came out in 1979.
Okay.
It was Disney's first PG movie.
All right.
Now, folks at home, to kind of give you all a little bit of a history lesson in the rating system, especially up until about the mid to late 80s, you had G, which is literally pretty much every cartoon that was out then.
Right.
Everything Disney was G, and kiddie stuff and kid stuff was G. Lassie, Bambi, Benji, all that shit was like G. Then you had PG. Now, PG movies during this time came in two flavors: soft PG and hard PG. Now, what I mean by hard PG, because there was there's one I could source offhand, but I'm sure there was more, that in the hard PG, there was a chance you saw titties.
Yeah.
Literally, there could be a naked girly calendar on a locker somewhere with their tits hanging out.
Right.
So, literally, it'd get away with it. The movie would get away with PG. PG. So,
yeah. PG. Yep.
The one movie that I think of that had, in essence, a topless woman was Sheena.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And was that
this
PG?
movie is PG. I thought it was
it's
PG.
You know why I remember that? Because when I was a little kid, they showed it on HBO. Like me and my parents, when I was a little kid, Sunday mornings was like we get up, eat breakfast, watch a movie. So like I remember it being like that movie on the Sunday, and I'm like, why? What's happening in my pants? I was like, there's boobies, and I liked them, and there they were, and I was like. I kind of looked at my parents like, should I be watching this? And they were like, ew, boy. So I don't know. I mean, yeah, I don't remember much of that movie except there was some titties.
Yeah, it's like that was that, and then you had like a soft R, then you had a hard R, then you had X,
Right.
and then at some
They
point,
said those movies would drive in.
then at some point, the NPA people got pissed, and the ratings board had to make changes. So what happened was you had G movies, and instead of PG being like a soft PG and a hard PG, the harder PG became PG-13, and
Right.
then you had the kind of the soft R and the hard R and the X.
Right.
And the whole aspect of any movie that had titties in it, even though it could have been a PG movie back a few years earlier, it became like a soft R.
Right.
But with Black Hole, it was one of those first PG movies of its kind by Disney. Now, let me say this. The first half of the movie, the effects are wonderful. They're beautiful. It has a reasonable... fuck spoilers. This movie's been out since 79, okay? It's been out. And I'm also going to say it like this. Anakin Skywalker is Darth Vader. It's also Luke Skywalker's dad. Let's see. The dude in the original Planet Apes has been on the planet planet Earth the whole time. Bruce Willis has been dead the whole time in Sixth Sense. So for the kid sees dead people. And to this day, I swear to God, Carrot Top ain't fucking funny. So let's move on. So the whole premise is that this spaceship with Anthony Perkins, Mr. Borgnine, Ernest Borgnine's in this. They're flying through space. They see the largest black hole they've ever seen in their life, and they also see this kind of derelict ship, which usually means if it's a horror movie, shit's going to go down.
Right.
Scary shit's going to get down. But no, they find this what appears to be a derelict ship, and they discuss things amongst the crew, saying, "Hey, this is a ship that they tried to contact Earth from Earth 20 years ago to stop their mission and to come back. They didn't hear anything back, so they stay in the ship, and in the process, almost get sucked into the wormhole, into the black hole." And on the way back, in escaping that, the gravitational field, their ship gets wrecked. Not bad, but there's problems. Things go haywire. And the only place that they get touched down for a little while is this main ship. And they find out there's only one human left alive on board, so they think. And that's the captain. And in essence, hilarity ensues. And because of the people wanting to explore and find out more, they find out there's a whole mess of horse shit that this guy's been telling them. And in the process, yes, it's almost that boring. It becomes that boring. It's not, but it almost becomes that fucking boring.
Right, I understand.
But it's great special effects up to the first half of the movie. Then the second half, it's like, let's do bad special effects like Saturday morning, afternoon type of cheesy special effects. But what they come out to that this one crew finds out is that the captain says, see that black hole? I think what it is in essence like a worm. In essence, like a wormhole. If you fly, take a certain path, you're going to come out the other side just fine. And this is because he said shit like that, which means things are not going to come out just fine. Because this motherfucker's ego turns on. And everybody finds out that he's been dealing a lot of horse shit to them. They decide, we got to get our asses in gear and get ourselves off this goddamn ship.
Right.
And because one of their crew decides to have an itchy launch finger, launches too soon, thus reveals the captain's double cross by blowing up their ship with this guy in it, and which crashes into his ship. And the ego, that's when the ego really kicks in. It's like, oh, my ship's damaged. Instead of stopping, repairing this damage, before we go into the crazy whirling pit of death, you know what? We're just going to keep going.
Yeah.
So, what else? What more can happen? Meteor shower happens.
No one.
And it's not just, you know what, it's just going to be a few little bit meteor shower. No, this thing puts the ship like Swiss fucking cheese. So
Very
the
good.
crew of the ship that was there, that, like, wait a minute, there's one other ship that we could use to escape here. Let's get to that and launch. And in the process of that, this meteor shower is tearing this big fucking ship apart.
You're tearing me apart.
No, let's wait till it stops, try to repair shit, then go to the swirly pit of death. No. Keep going. Yeah. Keep fucking going. Of course, the movie's got to happen. So what, in essence, inevitable happens, this escaping ship with the crew of the other ship, instead of going the other way, takes the original course and goes through the black hole and out the other side safely, while this whole Captain not Nemo, yeah, it would be Nemo, captain of the, because I'm thinking 20,000 Leagues Underneath the Sea, because that's what it kind of premises on. Oh, okay. And he somehow gets thrown out of his own spaceship, merges with his evil robot security guard.
Right, I remember that part.
But the thing is, this doesn't really happen until they zoom in on this one crewman's face that has kind of ESP. Yeah. And it's like the ending does not make fucking sense. Because they zoom in on her face, then
doesn't the whole thing play almost like a long episode of Battlestar Galactica?
Yeah, almost, but it's like they zoom in on her face, and it's like, this is what she's seeing. And all of a sudden, this, let's call him Captain Nemo, merges with this evil robot, and they have God knows what, Disney sex magic, if you want to say that. And they merge together and kind of rule hell, while she becomes this angelic being and kind of goes to heaven. That's the ending? And they come out the other side with no word of, hey, we made it? Where the fuck are we?
Have you never merged with a being in a black hole before? Don't you know how it goes?
No, I don't watch Tequila. Whatever the fuck she's calling herself.
You get Tila, you cover in some shit from an ICP concert, you merge in a black hole, and out comes the devil ruling hell and angels. It's common,
Does Alex Jones play into this at any point?
There's some heroin involved, but it's, listen, everybody does it time to time. But yeah, the 70s, everybody was on drugs. So
it's like the person who wrote this ending was like, what LSD trip?
Right.
You gotta remember,
a large
the 70s
blender.
was like LSD.
He went to the corner. He said, "Give me $500 of everything you got." He stuck it in the blender, poured it a little quick, a little bit of milk, made himself a milkshake, cocktail bar.
The 60s was pot. The 70s was LSD. The 80s was pure cocaine.
Yeah.
Plus uppers, downers, Valium, and all that shit.
Honkers, tweeters. Hey, let's write a movie. And then they wrote a movie. They wrote, you know what? Let's write about a black hole. Okay, black hole.
So
done.
This was, it's just like, really? Everything was looking good and feeling good up until this point, and the ending, you just like fizzled out. It was a bottle rocket. You're like, Like, I was expecting more. Really?
Like kind of hits pop before it hits the ground.
Oh. There was no no whistle, no nothing. Oh.
Yeah. Wow, that is really unsatisfying, isn't it? I guess that's why they give you so many. Because this one was like, it's like, okay, what was that about? Okay, great. Okay, all right, nothing.
You know what I'm thinking right now? What's going through my head right now is that if we were in studio with Zombie Bunny, she'd be laughing her fucking head off right now.
Well, you know what? I was thinking this when you mentioned her in one of the past episodes, kind of wherever you might be or something. I was like, we need to track her butt down.
I think
we should be.
I think I know where she's working, but again, is that spot? We have a spot for her to be a part of the show.
I think we need to come. I think we need to come with like offerings. Like, listen, we miss you.
Well, we're gonna go the Con Air route. Get a bunny, stuffed bunny. Come back on the show, the bunny gets it.
Yeah, that's what we should do. Absolutely.
Get somebody to look like Nicolas Cage and speak in a bad Cajun accent.
Right. Hey, listeners, I'm going to go through the drive-thru again. I need another drink.
Yeah, that's right. Big Candy's going to go through our drive-thru, and because he has us on speaker, let's see if we can screw up his order.
Oh man.
This could be
we're in the realm of like some Opie and Anthony stupid pranks now. Great.
Yeah, we could probably do better pranks than any YouTube channel that's out there too.
That's true too. Should I get anything else besides the drink? Should I get anything good?
Can we have Quaalude combo number 3, please?
No Quaalude.
Can we get Martinsburg special number 6?
Oh, God. Was that like a handful of crack and a blowjob?
That's number 7.
Oh, oops. Oh, yeah, it's a handful of crack and a quickie behind the dumpster. With some, like, I don't know what her age is prostitute.
That's the Thailand special.
Yeah. Might as well be Martinsburg, right?
Well, depends on the part of Martinsburg.
Except I think in Thailand there's a 50-50 shot it's going to be a dude. I think in Martinsburg you're pretty much guaranteed a girl, but it's a girl with air quotes. Yeah, she's female, but good God. She's been working factories her whole life, and she's only 19.
Now it's coming across like a Bon Jovi song. She's been working down by the dock.
She's been working on the dock. She's 19, but she looks like she's 40. Got 7 kids. Each one's got a different dad. And they're all deported. Yeah, that's Martinsburg.
That's pretty much all I got right now on my list. Is there anything else you want to talk about, sir?
I don't really have much, to be honest with you.
That be the case, folks. Then, if you don't mind, let's call it here.
Let's call it.
Let's call it here, folks. By the time this episode gets posted up, I might insert a comment or two in regards to the Money in the Bank pay-per-view that is happening this Sunday, the 19th, which is tomorrow night. I don't know. But if it's getting boring, I might just bookend this episode and post it up once the pay-per-view is over. But
you know what? I will say this. Depending on how interesting it is, will determine whether or not I cancel my subscription to WWE Network.
Woo.
Yeah, there you go. There you go,
There you go.
WWE. Entertain me.
Entertain me.
Yeah.
So,
Really should. I mean, honestly, the quality of the programming has gone seriously way down. And I've kind of still got a bad taste in my mouth from WrestleMania. I don't know about you, but from getting those copyright strikes from just covering the event, that was awful. But I'm going to order.
like I said, on that note, folks.
Yeah, can I get a large Coke?
On Big Kenny's large Coke order and a side of Quaaludes.
Yeah. No side of Quaaludes.
We're going to call this episode an episode, and I'll see you guys and gals on the tail end, and the mic is now off. Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that Skype call, and this is pretty much the tail end of the episode. I just want to enter in kind of my 2 cents of the WWE's Money in the Bank match that aired and this aspect of the recording and putting everything together. Let me just say, other than the women's Money in the Bank match and the consequence that happened afterwards with, I think it's Becky Lynch, it was utter crap. It wasn't all that. It was boring, as most of the WWE pay-per-views or special events have been over the past few years. The final Money in the Bank match, even though he wasn't in the match, but he was added to the match later on, and that was Brock Lesnar, and who came out last minute after it was, let me just say, the men's Money in the Bank match was going great. It was action-packed, high-flying, folks all over the place. It was brutal. Then at the last minute, out comes Brock fucking Lesnar and just goes up to the ladder, takes the briefcase, and wins. So therefore, as myself and probably quite a few people on the internet right now, fuck you, Brock Lesnar. Fuck you. I'm sick and tired of seeing Brock Lesnar hold the title, get, special treatment. He should just go away and let some of the new blood do their thing, get some new matches in. Heck, I would have understood if Randy Orton won. But I'm just sick and tired of pretty much Brock Lesnar being the dominant fucking asshole he's been in everything. He comes out, he has his advocate speak for him, and that's it. He should be done with WWE. He has less moves than fucking John Cena, and that's it. That's my opinion on it. He should just go away. Go away. Let the guard that's there do their thing, and the fans would probably be more happy for it than it is. But right now, that's it. That's this episode. Again, I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to join in the conversation, as always, you can always email us at longcoatmafia@gmail.com, or you can leave us a message on our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/The Longcoat Mafia Podcast. You can always DM us on Twitter or Instagram, both of which are Longcoat Mafia. But again, our Facebook page is, again, facebook.com/The Longcoat Mafia Podcast. We might be including our Facebook group, because that's how Facebook is starting to move the goalpost to right now. But that's probably further on. We do have one set up, and depending on how things go, we will probably migrate to it. But that's beside the point. If you want to follow us on Twitter, I got to get back on Twitter a little bit more, but been feeling under the weather, but our Twitter handle is Longcoat Mafia. If you want to see where we have been, like when we went to Winchester for free video game day, and other things when we're out and about, and we want to show you what we're doing as a podcast. Our Instagram is also Long Coat Mafia, and again, with all social media, we do ask you to hit that like button or that subscribe button or that follow button, and please follow us. It does help us a little bit. And we do have a YouTube channel. We still have to get a special cord for one of our cameras to get the videos off of it. So, our YouTube channel, you just search up Long Coat Mafia Podcast. We should be either the first or second subscribable sphere on there. Links are always in the show descriptions. Speaking of which, if you want to listen to us on the go, we are available on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher Radio, Spotify, the Podbean app, which I recommend having in the background. It is free, and just in case Apple Podcasts or Google Play decides to get finicky and not share with you our current episodes, and it allow you to go all the way back to the beginning if you so wish. What else? My head is still a little bit off from a lot of the migraines that I've been having due to allergies and so forth and so on. We covered, oh yes, if you wish to listen to us on a desktop or a laptop device, you're able to do so by listening to us through Stitcher Radio, Spotify, iTunes, plus our main website, which is thelongcoatmafia.podbean.com, and you can not just stream all our episodes from our most current episode, which would be this one, to our very first episode, which was almost 4 years ago. To think, almost 4 years ago. And you can always if you don't have time to stream our episodes on our main website, you can always download them and listen to them on your main browser of choice. And as I said, I was talking about our YouTube channel. Just I do suggest, once you find our YouTube channel, hitting that subscribe button and just having it there, and also bookmarking our YouTube channel, because YouTube always has some sort of problem with it, as well as moving the goalpost for creators such as us that want to bring additional content to all of you. So there's that, and I do suggest subscribing to not just our YouTube channel, but our Facebook page as well, because sometimes there might be an exclusive video on either or, meaning there are times I'll put up an exclusive video on our YouTube channel or a exclusive video on our Facebook page. So you don't want to miss out on all the special content that is there. Let's see, what else can I tell you guys and gals about? Oh, that's about it. Like I said, you can always join the conversation by sending us a message. We will read it on the air, so don't be afraid to. By doing so, leave a comment on Podbean. We will read that, or Facebook. We will get in touch back to you to let you know we did read your message on the air. So that's about it. I hope you enjoyed your week. A lot of great things to come. Like up in the last 2 weeks of June, we have first up the Martinsburg Library Pop Culture Convention, or their pop culture show, which is June 22nd. Then 7 days later is the it's the Bigfoot convention down in Waynesboro, Virginia, and we'll be there covering that, getting content there too, video stuff, the whole 9 yards. And what else? Week after that, not so much a week, about a month after that would be the 4-State Punk Rock Flea Market show in Martinsburg, West Virginia, and a lot more information on all this when these events get closer. But it's like the end of the flea market's at the end of July, so we'll be well into our starting up our 5th year. So who knows what's going to happen? Stay tuned. Hit that subscribe button on the app that you listen to us on. If you listen to us on Apple Podcasts, please leave us a review. They're starting, even though Apple's very finicky, they're starting to come back with the aspect of reviews do help the shows. So please leave us a review on there. I should one of these days, maybe for our 4th anniversary, read some of our reviews that are on iTunes. I think we're up to like 11 or 12. So thank you for listening. I'll see you all next week, and please stay tuned for a lot of great stuff coming soon.